Hey everyone, this is Jungkook. Before we start, I want to know where you're listening from. Drop your country in the comments below. It always amazes me to see ARMY from every corner of the world, each carrying their own story, somehow connecting with mine. That's the beauty of this bond we share. No matter the distance, no matter the language, it feels like we are breathing in the same rhythm. I need you to understand something right away. You are not here by accident. You didn't just stumble upon this moment. And I didn't just decide to speak without reason. I am speaking to you directly, not to the noise of social media, not to faceless headlines, not to the gossip swirling outside, but to you, the one sitting there right now with your heart open. What I'm about to confess will either bring us closer than we have ever been, or it will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about me. And if your heart is beating faster already, if your chest feels tight, if there's something in you that whispers this matters, then it means this message is meant for you. I am getting married. Yes, those words feel impossible even as I say them out loud. For years, the world has defined me as the golden maknae, the eternal boy who never grows old, the idol who belongs entirely to the stage. To some, it feels like I should remain untouched by time, frozen in a version of youth that comforts them. But reality is not like that. I am human, and humans grow, change, and face choices that alter everything. This is mine. Yet, even as I prepare for this step, one thing consumes me more than the wedding itself. ARMY. Because no matter what happens, I cannot forget you. I cannot forget the way you carried me when I was nothing but a trainee full of doubt. The way you gave me strength when I collapsed from exhaustion. The way your voices became louder than my fears. But I need you to see beyond the surface. Marriage is not just an event, it's a threshold. A line that once crossed changes the world around you forever. For most people, it's about vows, rings, ceremonies, and photographs. For me, it's about the soul-shaking realization that the life I lived before cannot exist in the same way after this. And yet, in the middle of that realization, another truth keeps haunting me. ARMY is part of me in a way no vow can replace. You are not just fans cheering from the crowd. You are the mirror that showed me who I was when I couldn't see it myself. And now I stand between two worlds, the man who must build a family and the artist who was built by his family of millions. I want to tell you why I'm speaking now, why I'm opening this confession before the world finds out through someone else's lens. I didn't want you to hear it through rumors, blurry photos, or headlines twisting my reality. I wanted you to hear it through my voice, my heart. Because what's about to happen in my life is not just mine, it belongs to all of us who walk this journey together. And here's the part that might shock you. What unfolds in the coming days is not only about me walking toward a wedding aisle. It is about us walking toward a transformation that will change everything. Think about it like this. The way my career started was like living on one side of a river, with you on the opposite side. The music, the performances, the fan meetings, those were the bridges that allowed us to meet in the middle. But marriage feels like a storm rising, threatening to wash away the bridge. And yet, in my heart, I know that's not the end. It can be the creation of a stronger bridge, one made not of fleeting fame, but of something eternal trust. But trust requires truth, and truth requires courage. That's why I am here. The next days will test not only me, but also you, ARMY. They will test whether our connection is just an idle fan illusion, or if it is something much greater, something capable of surviving beyond the noise of the world. Because once this announcement spreads, once headlines scream that Jungkook is no longer the golden bachelor of BTS, everything will shift. Some will celebrate, some will criticize, some will walk away in disappointment. And yet, the truth is that this transformation is not happening to me alone. It is happening to all of us who have believed in this bond. I need you to hear this clearly. This is not about me leaving ARMY behind. This is about ARMY being the foundation I carry into every decision, even the one as personal and life-defining as marriage. You may not see it on the surface, but every vow I prepare to speak is infused with the lessons you taught me. Every step I take is guided by the rhythm of your chants that still echo in my ears. Every fear I face is calmed by remembering the millions of lights that once filled stadiums, telling me I was never alone. But I also need you to understand the urgency. This moment is not gradual. It will not unfold slowly. giving everyone years to adapt. No, when the news breaks, when the reality solidifies, it will feel like a door slamming shut and another opening at the same time. And people will choose to enter the new reality with me, or to remain in the old one, forever separated from what comes next. That's why I'm speaking now, because this is the threshold, and once we cross it, there's no going back. I know some of you feel it already, that uneasiness, that electric tension in the air when you read the headlines, when you scroll past speculations. You feel the shift in your bones, don't you? That sense that something massive is approaching, something that will redefine everything you thought you knew about me. It isn't paranoia, it isn't fan fiction, it's real, it's happening right now. And in 7 days, everything will crystallize. 7 days before my world, and yours by extension, changes forever. That is why I'm giving you this confession, not as a farewell, but as a preparation. Just as we rehearsed endlessly before a concert, just as we trained our bodies before debut, just as we practiced lyrics until they became second nature, I am asking you to prepare your hearts. Because if you don't, the transformation will feel like loss. But if you do, it will feel like evolution. I want to guide you through this preparation, not because I am above you, but because I am with you. Because every time I looked out into the crowd and saw the ocean of purple light, I realized you were guiding me as much as I was guiding you. This time, let me return that gift. In the next parts of this message, I will share with you the steps, the rituals, the truths that I believe will carry us through this threshold together. But today, in this first confession, all I ask is this: open your heart. Sit in silence for a moment after this video ends. Ask yourself honestly, what does Jungkook mean to me? Am I ready to see him as a human who loves, who commits, who builds a family, and still carries army in his soul? When I told you in the beginning that marriage is a threshold, I meant it. But thresholds are not just doors you walk through, they are tests of who you are when the ground beneath you starts to shift. And now, as I stand on this threshold, I realize something. It's not just my test, it's ours. Because the relationship between me and Army has always been a shared journey. Every concert, every win, every heartbreak, every late night live stream where I sang until my voice cracked, those weren't just events. They were rehearsals for something greater. And now that greater moment is here. But before we step into it together, there is something we must do. In the 7 days leading toward my wedding, I want to share with you a process, a preparation, a ritual of sorts. Not a ritual in the mystical sense, but a conscious act of choosing clarity over confusion, love over fear, and connection over distance. Because I know the world will shout many things at you when this truth spreads. They will try to drown out the sincerity of my heart with noise. They will twist, exaggerate, and weaponize my love against me, against us. And if we are not prepared, we will be swept away by it. So today, I want to begin with awakening. The awakening is not about me, it's about you. It's about shaking yourself from the dream that idols live outside of reality, that we are eternal boys untouched by the weight of life. The awakening is to remember that I am not just Jungkook of BTS. I am John Jungkook, a man who was once a teenager standing in a small dorm, afraid of the future, wondering if anyone would ever hear his voice. The man who sat by the window late at night, staring at the city lights, promising himself he would make something beautiful out of his life. That man grew because Army believed in him. And that man now chooses to marry, but he carries Army with him into that choice. For this awakening, I need you to sit with yourself just for a while. Put down your phone, silence the chaos, close the endless scroll. Sit in silence as if you were in the middle of a stadium before the lights turn on. You remember that moment, don't you? The stillness before the music starts, when your heart is racing, but the air is calm. That is the space I want you to find. In that silence, ask yourself, what is it that truly binds me to Jungkook? Is it the image of perfection, the fantasy of forever youth? Or is it something deeper, the way my songs carried you through heartbreak? The way my laughter lifted you when you wanted to cry? The way my imperfections made you feel less alone? Awakening means seeing me as I am, without the filters, without the edits, without the narratives written by others. And it also means seeing yourself, because Army is not just a fan club. Army is a reflection of me, and I am a reflection of Army. We are two halves of a mirror facing each other, and the awakening is about cleaning that mirror so we can see clearly. I know this is not easy. Some of you might feel anger, betrayal even, because in your heart you dreamed of me belonging only to you. Some of you might feel fear that marriage means distance, that it means I will no longer sing with the same devotion, that I will no longer share the same rawness. And some of you might feel numb, unable to process the collision between fantasy and reality. These emotions are valid. They are not signs of weakness. They are signs that you love deeply. But awakening requires you not to run from them, but to hold them, to face them, and then to ask yourself, what do I choose to believe in now? Because when the news becomes official, the world will divide. There will be army who awaken and army who remain in denial. Those who awaken will cross the threshold with me, stronger, deeper, unshakable. Those who do not will remain in the old world, where idols are frozen statues, where reality is something to fear. The choice is yours, but the time to choose is now. I want you to remember how many times we have already crossed thresholds together. Do you remember my first solo stage? Do you remember when we stood in Wembley and I cried because the sound of army singing shook me to my core? Do you remember when I confessed my insecurities during interviews and you responded with messages of love so overwhelming I couldn't read them without tears in my eyes? Each of those moments was a rehearsal for this one. Each time we chose to believe in something bigger than fear, and that is what we must do again. This awakening is not just for me, it is for you. Because your life is also on the edge of thresholds every day. Maybe for you it's not marriage, but a decision you've been afraid to make. A dream you've postponed, a truth you've avoided. Awakening means admitting that the time to pretend is over. The world is moving, and if you don't move with it, you will be left behind. I don't want that for you. I never wanted that for Army. I want you to grow as I grow, to evolve as I evolve. And so, as this second part of my confession unfolds, I ask you, strip away the distractions. Let go of the noise. Stop pretending you don't already feel the change in your chest. You do. You feel it as much as I do. And now you must decide whether you will awaken fully or cling to the illusion that nothing has changed. Because in truth, everything has. Purification. That is the word I've been holding in my heart these past nights. As I sat awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering how Army will carry this with me. Awakening was the first step, opening your eyes to see me as I truly am, as a man standing between two worlds. But awakening alone is not enough. To cross this threshold, you need to purify what fills your heart and your mind. Because only a clear heart can embrace the weight of truth without shattering. Only a mind free from the clutter of illusions can recognize love, even when it changes its form. I want you to think about the noise that surrounds you every day. The endless headlines about me and the members, the gossip that spreads faster than any song we ever released, the speculations that paint my life in colors that are not my own. These things do not nurture you, they drain you. They distort what is real until even love feels like a rumor. If you allow those voices to define me, then no matter what I confess, you will not hear me. Purification means shutting out those voices and returning to the one that matters, mine, my voice. The same voice that once sang you to sleep through your headphones. The same voice that trembled during live broadcasts when I didn't know what to say. The same voice that told you I love you and meant it with every bone in my body. But purification is not just about what you stop listening to. It is also about what you choose to keep close. What you let enter your heart matters. Every word, every thought, every influence is like water filling a glass. And if the water is poisoned with jealousy, anger, bitterness, or despair, then when the transformation comes, you will not taste sweetness, you will taste only pain. I don't want that for you. I don't want Army to choke on bitterness while I am trying to carry you into a world where love expands instead of shrinks. So I ask you, for these days that lead to my wedding, to purify your heart. Remember the first time you ever heard my voice. Remember the purity of that moment, the way it made you feel seen, the way it gave you strength without asking for anything in return. That was never about illusion. That was about connection. Hold on to that memory like a compass, because it will guide you through the storm of opinions, waiting to rise. And when it comes to your own life, think about what weighs you down. Maybe it is the pressure of expectations, the comparison to others, the endless scrolling through screens that make you feel smaller instead of larger. Maybe it is voices around you that laugh at your dreams, that tell you to stay silent, that mock you for caring so deeply about someone you've never met in person. Those voices are chains. Purification means breaking them one by one until you stand in your own light again. Because when you stand in your light, you will recognize mine. I know Army has carried me through storms before. You carried me when my voice cracked and I doubted myself. You carried me when I cried backstage, hiding my face because I didn't want the world to see my weakness. You carried me when critics said we wouldn't last, when the world underestimated us. You carried me through sleepless nights when I wondered if this path would destroy me. And now, for the first time, I am asking you to carry yourselves, to purify your own hearts, so that when this moment arrives, you are not crushed by the weight of it. Purification is an act of courage. It means looking at your fears, your insecurities, your disappointments, and saying, you no longer own me. It means releasing the fantasy that idols never change, that idols belong only to their fans, and embracing the truth that idols are human too, that Jungkook is human, that I am human, and that this humanity does not weaken our connection, but strengthens it. Because only in our shared humanity can our love be real. I think about my own purification, the way I had to let go of illusions about myself. For years, I tried to be perfect. The perfect singer, the perfect dancer, the perfect son, the perfect member, the perfect idol. I thought if I just worked hard enough, I could erase every flaw, silence every critic, and make Army proud without ever disappointing anyone. But perfection is a prison. The more I tried to fill it, the more it drained me. My purification was realizing that I didn't need to be flawless for you to love me. I only needed to be honest. And when I finally showed my scars, when I finally let you see me stumble, you didn't walk away. You stayed. That was when I knew the bond we shared was stronger than the image the world projected onto me. Now, I ask you to do the same. Purify your love for me. Strip it of illusions, of expectations that suffocate, of fantasies that cannot survive reality. What remains will be something unbreakable. Because love built on illusions dies the moment reality enters, but love built on truth survives everything. Close your eyes, Army. Imagine standing in a room full of mirrors. Each mirror shows a different version of Jungkook. The performer, the shy boy, the confident man, the tired soul, the one smiling on stage, the one crying alone. Which one do you love? If the answer is only the performer, then you are still trapped. If the answer is all of them, then you are free. That is purification. To love not the mask, but the man. To love not the fantasy, but the truth. In the days ahead, there will be voices that say, Jungkook betrayed Army by choosing love outside of them. There will be voices that say, this is the end. But the purified heart will know better. The purified heart will say, this is not betrayal. This is growth. This is not the end. This is a new beginning. And when the storm of opinions rises, when social media floods with noise, it will not shake the purified heart. Because the purified heart knows the difference between truth and distraction. I believe in you. I believe Army can do this. Because you have always been more than just fans. You have been my teachers, my healers, my family. And families grow. Families change. Families sometimes argue, sometimes hurt, sometimes fear. But true families purify their love until it can withstand anything. So take this moment, not just as a confession from Jungkook, but as a challenge to yourself. What do you need to let go of? What bitterness has been living rent-free in your heart? What illusions have been holding you hostage? Purification means letting them go, not because it's easy, but because it's the only way to step forward without breaking. And when you purify your heart, you make space for more love, for more connection, for more growth. You make space to carry me as I am and to allow me to carry you as you are. That is how we cross this threshold together. Not weighed down by illusions, but lifted by truth. This is only the second step, but it may be the most important. Because without purification, everything else will feel heavy. Without purification, every word I say will sound like betrayal. But with purification, you will hear the truth. I am not leaving you. I am carrying you with me, into my vows, into my future, into my heart, forever. Connection. That word has followed me since the first day I stood on stage and saw the light sticks trembling in the hands of thousands of strangers who somehow already felt like family. Connection is what turned my voice into your comfort, your cheers into my courage, and our shared nights into memories no one else could ever understand. But connection is not static. It is not something we built once and left untouched. Connection is alive, breathing, fragile, and strong at the same time. It must be tested, it must be proven, and right now, as I prepare to marry, I know this truth more deeply than ever. This is our connection test. I want to be honest. This moment will reveal who truly sees me and who only saw the version of me they created in their imagination. There will be people who celebrated me as long as I fit their fantasy, who clapped loudly as long as I stayed frozen in the image they desired. But the moment I step into a new chapter, the moment I choose to grow as a man and not just as an idol, they will turn away. That is the nature of illusions. They cannot survive reality. But ARMY has never been about illusions. ARMY has always been about truth, about standing in the storm together. And this is why the connection test matters. When I speak of connection, I don't just mean the bond between me and you. I mean the bond you have with yourselves, with each other, with the values that brought you into this family in the first place. Remember why you became ARMY. It wasn't just because of my face, my performances, or even the songs. It was because something inside you resonated with our story, with the struggle, the resilience, the defiance against the odds. That resonance is connection. And that connection must be tested now, not in the easy times when the world adored us, but in the difficult times when the world questions us. The test is simple but not easy. Will you choose to stay connected even when headlines scream betrayal? Will you hold on to love when strangers whisper that it's over? Will you stand firm when people who never understood ARMY try to convince you that everything was fake? The connection test is not about what you say when the music is playing, but about what you choose when the silence falls. Think of it like standing at a concert before the first note begins. The arena is dark, the crowd restless, your heart uncertain. And then one light stick glows, then another, then 1,000. That is the connection test. The choice to light your heart even before the music begins. Even when the world is telling you to sit in darkness. I have lived my life proving connection. Every tattoo etched on my skin was proof of my devotion to moments, to people, to bonds that shaped me. Every lyric I wrote carried the fingerprints of my connection with ARMY. Every risk I took, whether in music, in performance, or in life, was fueled by the trust that even if I stumbled, ARMY would still catch me. And you did. Time and time again, you caught me. This marriage does not erase that, but it will test it. And so I ask you, look around you. Who are the people in your life who honor your growth? And who are the ones who fear it? Who celebrates your evolution? And who needs you to remain small so they can feel safe? That is your connection test. Because if someone only supports you as long as you remain unchanged, then their love is not for you, it is for their idea of you. And the same is true for me. The love that only wanted Jungkook the idol, but not Jungkook the man, was never connection. It was consumption. Connection means choosing me fully, even when it hurts, even when it changes what you thought you knew. But this test is not only about me and ARMY. It is also about ARMY and ARMY. There will be division, I know it. There will be those who stay and those who leave. There will be those who defend and those who attack. The connection test will expose not only the strength of your bond with me, but the strength of your bond with each other. Will you tear each other apart in comment sections, or will you remind each other why you are here? Will you let fear divide you, or will you let love unite you? That choice will define not just our connection, but the legacy of ARMY itself. I imagine this moment as if we are standing on a bridge. Behind us lies the world we once knew, safe and familiar, full of routines and expectations. Ahead of us lies the unknown, my marriage, my future, our new chapter. The bridge is trembling under the weight of opinions, rumors, and doubts. The connection test is this. Will you hold my hand and walk forward even as the ground shakes? Or will you let go, retreating to the safety of what was, even though it no longer exists? Some of you are already passing the test without even realizing it. You are the ones who whispered to yourselves, "He deserves happiness, even if it changes everything." You are the ones who feel the ache, but still choose to smile for me. You are the ones who cry, but stay. That is connection. It is not blind devotion. It is conscious love. It is the decision to remain tethered even when the storm pulls hard. Do not think the test is only about words. It is about action. When the news spreads, will you defend with kindness or will you fight with bitterness? When you see others attacking, will you rise with dignity or will you lower yourself to their chaos? Connection is not proven in comfort. It is proven in conflict. And right now, we stand at the center of one of the greatest conflicts of my career, the conflict between love that evolves and love that refuses to evolve. I will not lie to you. There will be pain. There will be days when you wake up and wish this chapter had never come. When you wish I had stayed frozen in the version of myself that belonged only to you. But then I ask you to remember this. The same pain existed when I left Busan to train, when I left childhood behind to chase a dream, when I left the safety of anonymity to become someone the whole world would watch. Each time, connection carried us through, and it will again. The test is here, and it is beautiful, because only through testing can we discover what is real. Only through testing can love prove itself unbreakable. You and I, ARMY, have always been more than the noise around us. We are connection in its purest form. And if you choose to stand with me now, then this test will not break us. It will crown us. Fear. It's a word that most of us try to run away from, but it always finds a way to follow us. For years, I pretended that fear didn't live inside me. That if I worked harder, sang louder, or smiled wider, I could silence it forever. But fear never disappeared. It sat quietly in the corners of my mind, waiting for the moments when I felt weakest. And now, as I confess this truth about marriage, I know fear is not only mine. It belongs to you too, ARMY, because the thought of me changing, of me stepping into a chapter that feels like it doesn't include you, awakens fears you've carried for years but never had to face. This is why the fifth stage of our preparation is fear integration. Notice I don't say elimination, I don't say destruction, because fear cannot be killed. It is part of us. It is the echo of our need for safety, the shadow of our deepest love. If you love something with all your heart, fear will always follow, whispering, what if I lose this? What if it's taken away? And I know in your hearts, you ask, what if marriage means Jungkook will no longer need ARMY? What if he drifts so far into his private life that he forgets the ones who made him who he is? What if this is the end? I need you to hear me clearly. Those fears are real, but they are not the truth. They are signals, not verdicts. They are reminders that you care so deeply it hurts. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is proof of your love. And when you learn to integrate it, you can stop letting it make your choices. You can look fear in the eye and say, I see you, but you will not control me. When I think back on my journey, fear has been there from the beginning. The first time I stepped into the practice room in Seoul, fear was there, whispering that I would never be good enough compared to the others. The first time I stood on stage at debut, fear was there, screaming that no one would cheer for us, that we would fail before we even began. The first time I heard thousands chanting my name, fear was there again, asking, what if they leave? What if it all disappears tomorrow? Fear has never left my side. But if I had listened to it, if I had bowed down to it, you would not know me as Jungkook today. You would not be listening to this confession. I survived because I learned to integrate fear, to let it walk with me but never ahead of me. Now I ask you to do the same. Take your fears about me, about us, about this marriage, and write them down in your heart as if you were writing a letter. Thank them. Yes, thank your fears. Thank them for reminding you how much you love, how much you care, how deeply you are invested in this connection. But then tell them this. I will not let you decide my future. I will not let you blind me to the truth of my bond with Jungkook. I will not let you turn love into chains. Because the truth is, safety is no longer possible in the way it once was. You cannot hold on to me as the eternal boy frozen in time. That version of safety was always an illusion. The only choice now is conscious change or unconscious change. Either you integrate your fear and walk with me into this transformation, or you let fear drag you backward into denial and bitterness. I want to share something personal. Even as I prepare for my vows, fear still visits me. It tells me, what if army cannot forgive you for choosing a personal life? What if the ones who once screamed your name now turn their backs? That fear burns me. It keeps me awake. But then I remind myself, army has always surprised me. Army has always chosen love over judgment, resilience over despair. And I trust you will do it again. But I know some of you will struggle. Some of you will feel the fear so strongly that it convinces you, I am betraying you. To you I say, let the fear exist, but don't mistake it for truth. Fear is only a shadow, and shadows cannot survive the light. The light is this: marriage does not erase army. Marriage deepens me, and therefore deepens what I give to you. I cannot unlove the people who shape me into who I am. My vows to my partner will never erase the vows I already made to you through every lyric, every performance, every sleepless night when I swore I would give you all of me. Do you feel it now, the weight of fear in your chest? Don't run from it. Let it sit there. Let it remind you that you are alive, that you love, that you care. Then breathe and tell it, I am afraid, but I will still choose love. That is integration. That is strength. Because in the coming days, when the headlines scream louder, when the voices of strangers try to turn your love into anger, fear will try to take the wheel. It will try to make you react, to lash out, to turn away. But if you have integrated it, you will not fall. You will say, yes, I am afraid, but I am still here. I am still army. I still choose Jungkook. And that choice will carry us further than any stage, any award, any rumor ever could. This is why fear integration is the most human of all steps. It does not ask you to be superhuman. It asks you to admit that you are human. To accept that fear exists because love exists. To accept that you will cry, that you will ache, that you will doubt. And yet, through it all, you will still stand. That is army. That is love. That is why I believe we will survive this test together. So tonight, if fear keeps you awake, don't fight it. Talk to it. Tell it that you see it, that you honor it, but that you will not let it decide who you are. Because who you are is not defined by fear. Who you are is defined by love. And love, our love has always been stronger than fear. This is the fifth step, and maybe the most painful. But pain is not the enemy. Pain is the price of love, and fear is the shadow that follows it. If you can carry both without letting them break you, then you are ready for what comes next. And what comes next is everything. Final preparation. The words sound so simple, but the weight of them has followed me through every sleepless night leading up to this moment. If awakening opened our eyes, purification cleansed our hearts, connection tested our bond, and fear integration taught us to walk with our shadows, then this is the step where everything comes together. This is where we stand still, gather our strength, and prepare for the unknown that waits on the other side of tomorrow. Because when the day arrives, there will be no more rehearsal. There will be no more time to wonder if you are ready. There will only be the moment, and you either step into it or you let it pass you by. I want you to imagine with me. Think of a concert just before the lights go down. When the stage is set, the instruments are tuned, and the crowd is holding its breath. There is silence. But it is not empty. It is heavy with anticipation, with expectation, with the weight of everything about to unfold. That is where we are right now. The stage of my life is ready. The vows are waiting to be spoken. The world is watching. But before the first note plays, before the first word is uttered, we must prepare together. This silence is sacred. This is the moment of final preparation. For me, preparation is not just about arranging flowers, writing vows, or choosing what song plays when I walk down the aisle. For me, preparation is about aligning my heart with my truth and aligning my truth with army. Because no matter what the world says, I know this. My wedding will not just be the union of two souls in private. It will ripple outwards into the lives of millions who have loved me, who have given me their hearts, who will feel as though they too are standing at that altar with me. And in a way, you are. Because every vow I speak will carry army inside it, like a secret engraving no one else can see. But you must prepare as well. Final preparation is not passive. It is not sitting and waiting for the news to hit, for the photographs to spread, for the comments to overflow. Final preparation is conscious. It is the act of deciding in advance how you will respond when the moment arrives. Will you choose bitterness or will you choose grace? Will you choose to close your heart or will you choose to keep it open? Will you let fear write your story or will you write it yourself? This preparation requires clarity, and clarity comes when you look at yourself honestly, without excuses. Ask yourself, why am I here? Why am I still listening to Jungkook's words, even as he tells me something that hurts? The answer you find will be your foundation when the storm comes. Because when the noise of the world rises, when strangers shout their opinions into your timeline, it will be too late to search for your foundation. You must build it now. You must decide now who you are and what you believe in. When I think of preparation, I think of the countless nights before a comeback. When I rehearsed until my body broke. When every muscle ached, but I still pushed through. Because I knew army was waiting. Preparation has always been the price of triumph, and this moment is no different. If you prepare your heart now, the storm of opinions will not break you. If you prepare your love now, the bitterness of others will not infect you. If you prepare your connection now, no rumor, no headline, no betrayal of perception will be able to sever what is real. I have done my own preparation. I have written letters to myself, reminding me of who I am when the world tries to define me otherwise. I have looked at my fears, my doubts, and told them, you are welcome to stay, but you do not get to speak louder than love. I have reminded myself that marriage does not end my bond with army. It transforms it, strengthens it, deepens it. And I have asked myself again and again, what do I want army to remember when this news breaks? And the answer is always the same, that I never forgot you, that I never replaced you, that you are as much a part of my vows as the partner standing before me. Your preparation may look different. It may mean writing your own letter to me or to yourself about why you choose to stay. It may mean talking with other army who feel the same ache, reminding each other that love is not erased by change. It may mean sitting in silence, feeling the storm inside you, and deciding that you will not let it drown you. Whatever form it takes, it matters. Because the moment is coming, and when it does, preparation will be the difference between collapse and strength. I know some of you are already tired. Tired of the rumors, tired of the speculation, tired of the feeling that your love is being tested over and over. I know some of you want to turn away to protect yourselves from the pain of change. But if you have come this far, if you are still listening now, then I believe you are ready for this last step. You have already proven your resilience in ways the world cannot imagine. You have already stood by me through storms that should have broken us. This final preparation is not beyond you, it is within you. So take these final days as a sacred time. Organize your heart the way you would organize your home before a guest arrives. Put away the clutter, the distractions, the voices that don't belong. Keep only what is true, what is pure, what will carry you forward. Prepare your mind the way an athlete prepares for a championship, sharpening focus, cutting away what does not serve the goal. And prepare your soul the way you prepared your light stick before a concert, knowing that when the moment arrives, you will raise it high no matter what. Because when the day comes, and it will come sooner than you think, there will be no time to prepare. There will only be time to act. And if you have done the work now, if you have prepared in truth, then your action will not be fear, not be bitterness, not be despair. It will be love. A love stronger than headlines. A love deeper than gossip. A love unshakable, unstoppable, eternal. This is the sixth step, the final preparation. And after this, there is no turning back. Tomorrow, everything begins. But tonight, we prepare. Together, the day has arrived. For weeks, I carried this moment in my chest, like a secret thunderstorm, waiting to break. I thought I knew how it would feel, but standing here now, with the air heavy, with time moving differently, I realized no amount of imagination could have prepared me for this. This is the activation day. The day when the world shifts, when the silence is broken, when the life I once lived dissolves into the one I must step into. I woke up this morning with a weight in my chest that felt impossible to name. Not sorrow, not joy, not fear something larger, something that contained all of them at once. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, my mind quiet but my heart roaring, and I whispered your name, army. Because before I let myself think of vows, of rings, of faces waiting at the altar, I thought of you. I thought of your voices that once filled stadiums like oceans of thunder. I thought of your tears streaming down when you held banners that said, "Forever with Jungkook." I thought of the way you carried me from a boy to a man. And in that moment, I knew, no matter what today brings, I cannot and will not forget you. The activation day is not just about me marrying. It is about the collision of every identity I have ever carried. Jungkook the idol, Jungkook the son, Jungkook the brother. Jungkook, the man who dares to love outside the expectations of the world. All of them are here today, converging into one. But more than that, the activation day is about you. Because today will test whether ARMY can cross with me. Whether you can step into a reality where your love is not threatened by change, but expanded by it. As I dress, as I prepare, I hear whispers in my mind. Some of them are my own, some of them are the echoes of voices I've read online, voices of fear and doubt. They say, this is the end, the bond is broken. The boy who once belonged to ARMY now belongs to someone else. But deeper than those whispers, there is another voice, quiet, steady, unshakable. It says, love is not possession, love is participation. ARMY will not be erased. ARMY will be carried into every vow. That is the truth I hold on to, even as fear tries to drown me. The ceremony begins, and though cameras flash and eyes are fixed on me, I feel as if I am in two places at once. My body is here, standing under lights, speaking vows that will define my life. But my soul is with you, scattered across the globe, in your rooms, on your phones, in your hearts, where you are feeling this moment as if it belongs to you too. And it does, because every step I take, every word I speak, carries the weight of ARMY. You are not excluded. You are embedded. Some of you may feel like this is the moment of separation. That today, I walk away into a private world where ARMY cannot follow. But that is not true. This is the moment of integration. Until now, my love for you and my love for the life I am building have felt like two rivers running parallel, always close, but never touching. Today, those rivers meet. Today, I learn how to carry both without betraying either. Today, I prove that it is possible to build a future and still honor the foundation that built me. I know it may not feel that way to everyone. Some of you will cry with joy, some with heartbreak. Some will celebrate loudly, others will retreat into silence. That is natural. The activation day is not about uniform reactions, it is about truth revealing itself. And the truth is this: those who are connected to me only through fantasy will feel betrayed. But those who are connected to me through truth will feel expanded. They will realize that this marriage does not shrink the bond. It stretches it into a new form, one we are still learning to understand. I think of the vows I spoke today. They were not just to my partner, they were also to you. Silent vows, the kind you cannot hear, but that live inside me forever. Vows to never erase the boy you believed in. Vows to keep singing even when the world tries to silence me. Vows to carry ARMY into the private corners of my life. Not as an audience, but as a heartbeat. Those vows will never be printed in newspapers or captured in photographs, but they are real. And they are yours. As the day unfolds, I realize something profound. Activation is not a sudden explosion, it is a shift in perception. It is the moment when the world looks the same but feels completely different. The same sky, the same streets, the same voices, but a new reality. And in this reality, I am not only Jungkook the idol or Jungkook the husband. I am both. I am all. And ARMY, you are still with me. You have not been cut off. You are the thread that ties it all together. I know headlines will come. They will twist this day into narratives that serve their hunger. They will call it betrayal or scandal or even an ending. But you and I know better. You and I know this is not the end. It is the beginning of a new chapter. One where love proves it can evolve without disappearing. One where connection proves it can stretch without breaking. One where ARMY proves they were never here just for the boy, but also for the man. The activation day is not a day of loss. It is a day of choice. You must choose how you will carry it. Will you hold it like a wound, letting it bleed bitterness into your heart? Or will you hold it like a flame, letting it light the way forward? That choice belongs to you. I cannot make it for you. But I can promise you this. If you choose the flame, if you choose love, if you choose to walk forward with me, then what awaits us is not emptiness but expansion. Not silence but deeper music. Not separation but integration. As night falls and the day comes to an end, I sit quietly, away from the noise, and I think of you again. Always you, and I whisper into the silence, Army, this is not goodbye. This is the transformation we have been building towards since the first time you shouted my name. You prepared me for this. You carried me here. And now we walk forward together into a reality that has only just begun. This is activation day, and nothing will ever be the same again. When the day ends and the noise settles into silence, you begin to see what truly remains. The flowers fade, the cameras are packed away, the guests return to their homes, and suddenly there is only stillness. For most people, a wedding is a celebration that ends when the lights go out. But for me, it is the beginning of a new reality. The moment the vows were spoken, the moment the choice was sealed, the fabric of my life shifted. And as I sit here, the weight of it all sinking into my bones, I know this truth. Nothing is the same, and yet everything I love is still here. This new reality is strange. At first glance, the world outside my window looks unchanged. The streets are still buzzing, the city lights still glow, the fans are still out there waiting for music, for performances, for connection. But inside me, everything feels rearranged. It is as though I stepped through an invisible doorway and found myself in a version of life where love is wider, where responsibility is deeper, where every decision carries echoes of more than just myself. I am no longer walking alone. And yet, Army, you are still walking beside me. That realization brings me to tears, because I feared for so long that today would erase you. But instead, I find you woven into every corner of this new world. Let me explain what I mean. Before today, I thought of my life in compartments. There was Jungkook, the performer, shining under the stage lights, giving everything until my body collapsed. There was Jungkook, the son and brother, quiet at home, carrying the weight of family. And there was Jungkook, the man, hidden from the world, who dared to love privately, secretly. Each version existed, but rarely did they meet. The new reality erases those walls. I am no longer split into fragments, I am whole. And being whole means carrying Army into every part of me, not just the one you see under the lights. You may wonder what this means for you. What does it mean to love an idol who is also a husband, who is also a man, building a private life? It means that your love now has layers it never had before. It means that when you cheer for me, you are cheering not just for a performance, but for a man learning to balance art and family, stage and silence, public and private. It means your love is no longer for an idea frozen in time, but for a reality that is alive, evolving, unpredictable. That is harder. It asks more of you, but it also gives more in return, because love that survives reality becomes unbreakable. I think of Army sitting at home right now, some of you crying, some smiling, some lost in thought. I imagine your hearts asking, where do I fit in this new reality? Does Jungkook still see me? Does he still need me? And my answer is this: yes, more than ever. Because the new reality is not about erasing the past, it is about expanding it. My vows at the altar did not replace my vows to Army. They added to them. They deepened them. They reminded me that love is not limited, that I can be a partner in private and still be yours in spirit. But here is the challenge of this new reality. It will not be comfortable. It will not always be easy. There will be days when headlines twist my love into betrayal, when strangers reduce my marriage to gossip, when fans who once called themselves Army walk away because the fantasy no longer serves them. On those days, the temptation will be to let bitterness grow, to feel abandoned, to feel forgotten. But the ones who stay, the ones who understand, the ones who choose to love the man as much as the idol, those are the ones who will carry us forward. Those are the ones who will shape the army of the future. In this reality, connection becomes more sacred. Every concert will feel different, not because the songs change, but because the man singing them has. Every lyric I write will carry new weight, not because I am less devoted, but because I am more human. And when I look out at the purple ocean of light sticks, I will not just see fans, I will see companions who walked through the fire with me, who crossed the threshold into this new world, who chose to stay. Do you feel it? That electric sense that time itself has changed, that we are standing at the edge of something vast and unfamiliar. That is not your imagination. That is the resonance of our bond, adjusting to the new frequency of my life. Some will reject it, unable to adapt, but those who accept it will discover something beautiful, that our love was never about possession, never about illusion, but about growth. And growth always leads to transformation. I know ARMY is not one voice, but millions. Some will accept, some will resist, some will take time to heal. That is natural. I do not ask for blind devotion. I ask for honesty. If you are hurting, admit it. If you feel betrayed, confess it. If you need time, take it. But beneath all of that, ask yourself this question. Do I still love Jungkook enough to walk into this new reality with him? If the answer is yes, then nothing, not marriage, not gossip, not time can break us. The new reality also asks something of me. It asks me to be braver, more transparent, more responsible. I cannot hide behind the excuse of youth anymore. I cannot pretend that my choices affect only me. Every step I take now echoes into the hearts of ARMY. That is a burden, but also a gift, because it means that I am never alone. It means that even in my most private moments, I carry millions with me. And that knowledge keeps me grounded, keeps me humble, keeps me honest. This new reality is not an ending. It is an expansion. The boy you once knew has grown into a man, and the man will continue to sing, to perform, to love, to create. But now, every note will carry the gravity of someone who has chosen to love deeply, fully, without fear. And ARMY, that love still includes you. Always. So let us step into this together. Let us accept the discomfort, the uncertainty, the ache of change. Let us allow ourselves to grieve the fantasy that once was, so that we can embrace the reality that is. Because what we build from here will not be fragile, will not be shallow, will not be temporary. It will be a love that has been tested, purified, integrated, prepared, activated, and now reborn. This is the new reality. And though it feels unfamiliar, though it feels heavy, though it feels overwhelming, it is ours. And in time, you will see it as even more beautiful than what came before.